Hi guys, I'm going to do my last part to my birth story. The video that I had up before, for those of you who saw it, it was no sound at a certain point. So hopefully, hopefully I can get it done. Junior. So those of you who've had a C-section before know that when they start to cut you, the smell in the operating room is so offensive. You'll never forget the smell. I think they use, I never asked, I'm sure, why would a blade smell? So I'm sure they use some laser to cut you. So we're sitting there, me and my husband, and we look at each other like, oh, there's the smell. So they cut me, and then they start going in at it. And remember, Noms is up by my head, so she stays on this side with me, up, where my head is, and my husband's also on the other side. So as my blood pressure drops and I start feeling kind of bad, she gives me medicine to make me feel better. So that happened a few times. So they're in there, and all of a sudden the doctor starts saying, "Who did you say did your last C-section?" And since they all work at the same hospital, and in the same field, I say Dr. Malik, and he says, "Wow," because whoever put you back together did a terrible job. Junior, shh, be quiet. He's standing here asking me to watch something. You'll have to wait. So you'll have to wait. So anyway, so he says he did a terrible job putting you back together, and I'm like, what? And he's like, and then there was a midwife standing there helping him from my OB, aiding in the surgery, and she says, yeah, things are stuck where they're not supposed to be, and the scar tissue is terrible. And I say, well, what does that mean? I'm saying this while I'm laying on the table, and they're just digging stuff out and trying to get the scar tissue out and trying to get to the baby or whatever. And she said, well, if this had been an emergency C-section where, like, if the baby stopped breathing, or we had to, or if his heart rate drops, or whatever the case might have been, if it was an emergency, they would not have been able to get him out fast. So I thought, that sucks. And so, remember, I don't know if I said this in the beginning, but Dr. Lee was like, are you planning on having more kids before the surgery? And so once he got in there and saw, because I told him, when you get in there and see what's going on, then we can talk about it. Because, the last surgery I had, he said I can have as many as I want. And you telling me don't do it anymore. And you hadn't even saw what was going on inside of me. So he begins to say, I hope you're not, no, what'd he say? Are you planning on having more kids? And I said, this is in the middle of the surgery. And I said, yeah, I was. But if you think that I shouldn't, I don't guess I will. And so he says, well, we're going to work really hard to try to get things together. So I guess they unstuck what was stuck. And they, it took a little bit longer than usual to get the baby out. But finally they got to him. And all the doctor said was, Dr. Lee was, well, his eyes are open, and Kenneth told me that he didn't get it on tape or video, but he said as soon as he got Braxton out, he held Braxton to his face and his eyes were wide open. And so anyway, I got a clip of them getting him out, and you all could see that. So after they get him out, they start talking, putting me back together, and I'm so mesmerized by my son, because every time they take my baby out of me, it's the same feeling every single time. You would think that one would get used to it, but to me, I feel like it's a miracle every time. You have a baby inside of you, right? You don't know what it looks like. You don't know. You've never met this person, and I'm telling you, it's amazing to me. Whenever all the pain I went through, and all the suffering at the end, when my crotch hurt and all that, it means nothing when I see my baby. As soon as they got Braxton out, his foot was sticking up out of the warmer, and I just immediately started counting his toes. Oh, I'm telling you. And when that baby started crying, I was like, oh, this is it. I don't know. It's a feeling that I can try to describe it, but until you've gone through it, whether you pushed the baby out or you had a C-section, when you hear that brand new life cry and you see that baby, you are instantly in love. You know, except for those who aren't instantly in love, and that's okay if you're not. Some women aren't. You know, but I'm telling you, I was like telling them, move the thing out of the way. I can't see. I can't see. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. I can't see. I can't see. You know, whatever. And so, it's such a miracle, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm so. And then like, so going through the end of my pregnancies, I always say, "Oh, I ain't having any more kids." Hush, now. You be quiet. I say, well, I'm not having any more kids, but I'm sorry y'all have to hear me get on to my child, but hey, whatever, it's normal. Anyways, I'm trying to set this camera down so I can stop messing it up and shaking it up. So, peanut butter ice cream. Just a minute. So, I have no idea what he's talking about, but just a minute, buddy. So anyway,
peanut butter ice cream.
So they're putting me back together, and Kenneth is over there with the baby. So, let's see. So before the surgery, I was debating on whether I wanted her to give me something to knock me out or whatever. Well, I could hear them talking and putting me back together, and I'm paying attention to the baby. I'm listening to the nurse say things to Braxton, and Kenneth talking to Braxton, and I'm looking over there to see who he looks like and, you know, what he's like and if he's okay. And so all while I'm doing that, they're doing things to put me back together and everything. They're saying all these other things. And so then Noms said something to me. She say, apparently she put something in my IV. Because then she comes and pats me on the shoulder and say, enjoy your nap. Enjoy your nap. I said, oh, okay. So I think what she was saying was, I had to be there so early. I was so tired and so worked up at the beginning. She's saying, now you can rest. Rest now. You know. So I did. You know, I kind of rested. As soon as I kissed Braxton and Kenneth and Braxton went out, go get a towel. Go get a towel. As soon as Kenneth and Braxton left, I closed my eyes, but it still seemed like I heard them doing things. I remember them lifting me off, putting me on this thing to slide me from the operating table to a bed. I remember that. And I remember them putting on my binder. The binder is a belly wrap band. It's sort of like the belly band, I guess, but it's bigger and it's like industrial size band. So they put that on me after surgery, and then they wheeled me into recovery. And as soon as I came through the recovery doors, I saw Kenneth and Braxton, and so they handed the baby to me to breastfeed. And let me tell you something, that boy been sucking ever since. I'm telling you, he is the best eater ever. And so he gets 20 minutes on each boob there in the recovery room. And then Kenneth goes out and get Lily and Junior. And they come in to see Braxton and everything. And so then I go up to recovery. Remember, I don't have a pain with the other two. They gave me a pain pump that I could press the button for pain every 2 minutes, I think, medicine that would go in my back. And then be quiet. And then so by the time I got to my room, the pain had already came back from surgery, and I was asking for medicine with the other two. But this time they didn't give me a pain pump. They do things differently. They put something in your back, which is a long-lasting, it might be extended release pain, something. And trust me, it was amazing. Like, I didn't have the pain I had with the others. Maybe losing the 60 pounds had a lot to do with why I didn't have such a bad recovery. When I was ready to get up out of that bed in 12 hours, I was ready to get my booty up. And when I got up, it didn't hurt like it did with the other two. It was awesome. So Lily and Junior came to the room, and let's see, the baby went up with me on my stretcher. And so that was pretty much my birth story, it was not everything that I expected. Some things were worse, some things were better. And the worst, what I mean is to have the news about the scar tissue and how he told me that the risk would be if the placenta set up on the scar tissue, it would be terrible. So, sorry that my videos cut off. It is what it is. And subscribe to my channel. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. And stay tuned for my product videos. I have a product review I'm going to do on these nursing cups. And also, I'm going to do my review on my Honest Company diaper. So, thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you to my new subscribers. Okay, bye.